Hey, everybody, welcome to our broadcast of business, money, and Christianity, financial podcast from a faith perspective. I want to welcome you into the year 2026. We're basically now 1 week into the year, and I hope you are on track to have a good year. The things that we do today are going to set us up for next week, next month, 6 months from now, and we want to do it right. And therefore, today I want to talk to you about the decisions or the choices that we make. Now, as I said just a minute ago, we're going to talk about business, we're going to talk about money, but we talk about it from um, a Christian perspective, a faith perspective. While I'm not going to be reading verses out of the Bible, everything I'm going to say is biblically based and comes from the Bible. I'm reading a book right now. It's called Choices, and it's by Michael Myers, and it says choices that shape our character. It's an interesting book. I highly recommend that if you're a book reader that you get it and see what it has to say. But the essence of the book is our choices leads to where we end up. And it shapes our culture. It shapes our, not our culture, our character. It shapes what we live in. I've often said this book doesn't use the terminology that I've stated before, but they go hand in hand on what it means. Is our life today is the sum total of the decisions that we've made so far in life. Wherever we're living at, whatever we're doing, whatever success, whatever failure we have, it's from and as a result of the decisions that we made. Now, I will clarify one element on this. You and I are not in control of everything that happens to us. Your body may get sick, and you did nothing to facilitate that. It's just part of nature, part of this world system. But how you respond, the choices that you make, they will determine how you come out of it. So while we're not in complete control over everything that goes on in the world around us, we are in complete control over the decisions that we make. Here in the United States of America, there was an organization some years back called MADD, M-A-D-D. And it was really M period, A period, D period, D period, because the letters meant a word. And what it was called was Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. So this woman started this organization in trying to stop or put better laws in place that would keep people from driving drunk. Why did she do this? Because her daughter was hit by a drunk driver and her daughter died in the accident. You know, you look around, there's other people that have the same experience in life. A loved one dies in a drug or a DUI, driving under the influence type scenario, and they just break down and they're unable to do anything in life. But our choices, no matter how hard life gets, those are within our hands. Those are determined by us. And so we are going to handle our money. We are going to handle our business. And this year in 2026, you are going to make thousands of decisions. Where are you going to get the information to make the decision that you need to make? And this is where it becomes important. Now, let me bring the Bible in here. There's many scriptures. I'm not going to read them today for time's sake, but there's many scriptures that talk about foolish decisions and wise decisions. There's a story in the Bible about 10 virgins, and they're waiting for the bridegroom to come and let them into the chamber of where the marriage supper is going to happen. And it talks about 5 of them were foolish and 5 of them were wise. 5 went in, the wise, and 5 foolish did not go in. Now, the whole context of the story was they had lamps that used oil to burn, and 5 of them brought enough oil, and 5 of them did not. The ones that didn't bring enough oil said to the 5 who had oil, hey, sell us some of your oil. And they said, no, we can't do that because it might cause us to not have enough oil. And what you see in this, there's many elements of the story and how it can be applied, especially in Christianity. But in the context of what I want to talk to you about is you and I are going to make decisions, and there's a basis upon which the decisions that we make should be made. And it's going to determine whether they're wise or foolish. From my take, especially in the United States of America, this boils down to wise decisions and foolish decision is on length of thinking. And I call it short-term or long-term thinking. I know I didn't make that up, but that's how I refer to it. Is that the people who predominantly make foolish decisions make decisions with short-term thinking. They're looking at right now, what am I going to have to do? What needs to be done today? How can I enjoy this day? So the 5 foolish virgins that went to the marriage supper of the Lamb, or the bridegroom, waiting for the bridegroom to go into the marriage supper, they thought about having enough oil for right now. Once I burn through the oil, everything will be okay, and I'm not going to need any more oil. The other that were in the wise category, they thought, what if this takes longer than what I planned for? And I was dealing with somebody not too long ago, and they were up against a crunch time. And I was just listening to them talk, and I thought it was so amazing because they had some things to do where they had to go into town and do them. And so the way they constructed their time was they did everything they needed to do at home. When they got done, they went to town. Then things happened in town, which was out of their control, and it delayed them coming back. And now they're late for this event that they had. It was foolish thinking. It was a foolish decision. Why? Because the things at home that needed to be done was where they needed to be at a specific time later in the day. But they arranged their day with how they wanted to do it. And they should have got up in the morning, went to town. Then any delays that town would have caused, they came back and they could have stopped what they were doing at home so they could make their appointment. You and I have to have a critical thinking element within our life to make decisions so that everything lines up. If you're going to make a decision about your business, right now you may be under pressure, and under pressure is one of the worst times to make a decision, especially a long-term decision, because typically people are more focused on how do I get the pressure off of me right now? And they exchange today's pressure for another pressure tomorrow. It's better to look at it and say, how do I resolve this pressure so that 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, I'm not replicating the same thing. And so here you and I sit. The first week into 2026, we know that we are going to make thousands of decisions this year. But what we need to know is we have the potential to both make wise decisions and foolish decisions, and we need to get the foolishness out. What is it going to take for me to reach my benchmarks, my goals, my visions? If we put it in the context of money, we may sit down and look at it and say, we need 1,000 of our local currency. But I probably should have 2. Just so in case I missed it, I've got enough to make it. There's another story in the Bible that talks about what king will not sit down first and see if he has enough military, enough armament to go after a king and go to war. They're going to sit down first and say, can we win this battle? What person, in the same story, what person starts building a house that they don't first sit down and say, what's this thing going to cost? And do I have enough to finish the project? You should have a clear trajectory of where you want to go this year, what you want to accomplish, how you want to accomplish it, and so forth. But you need to also sit down and do I have what it takes to make it to the end? Don't just wing it. Don't just, hope that everything comes together. It's time we start making wise decisions and plan appropriately so that we can accomplish everything that we're going to do. Choices, I say decisions. Choices matter in how you build your life. And every day we are going to encounter a lot of choices. I would encourage you, the very first choice, accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And then base all your further choices on that first choice. Because Jesus makes sure that we have the resources to do what he has placed in our heart. So make 2026 a year that is beyond any year that you've ever had, where you accomplish more, you do more, you walk in more confidence, you walk in more authority in your life, and that you accomplish everything that you set out. But it's only going to come about by the element of making wise decisions along the way. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. I'd ask you to like, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever it asks on your platform that you're watching on, so that we get the algorithms flowing correctly. But I thank you for stopping by and allowing me to share these tidbits with you to make your life this year a better one. We'll see you soon.